everybody, and welcome back to another episode of What If the Continents and Oceans Were Switched. And in today's video, first off, we're actually not going to be looking at expansion or exploration into new lands. We're actually going to start off with a video, or with a war down south in South Africa. And it is between these three countries right here, and how it starts is the yellow team here takes its troops and it kind of just moves into a little land right here that they claim is theirs. It's right here, and it's actually a lot of land because they claim the whole little area right here. Not really full of the provinces, but then the gray one goes to the blue one and it tries to get them into war. So they do, but these guys also have another idea. So they get into the war, and the war started at this point. So they're both taking back, but the yellow team is way better than these guys are. So much so that they're able to do a full pushback in the north. And when the gray team goes to attack, trying to find a color. So when they go to attack, the yellow team can just swoop up here and start taking some coastal territory. The main goal is this major city right here, as it's this country is the most populated out of all of these countries. These three here anyway. But this is where things get bad, as South Africa is going to attack these guys with the claim of needing to protect their major city here. And yeah, it doesn't go very good. And eventually, these guys pull their troops out of here, from the yellow team. And eventually, the gray team is just going to straight on attack them. So yeah, a very big betrayal. But they actually end up taking the capital city when these guys will get here. And it'll end in something like this, where they will all agree on peace and sign a peace deal. We have this happening, and I know it's a little weird because this guy's involved, but basically what happens here is these two just end up taking land from this other dude that died. So rest in peace to that dude. And then over here, their things end up following the provinces, so they were invited to the meeting to discuss that, to where they fixed it up. And really, the South Africans get a lot of land because they get most of this capital city up here, and actually a little bit of this capital city right here, which is absolutely crazy. They have land in the capital city. So yeah, they are still very powerful, still a very, very powerful country. But now that that's over, we can actually get rid of this capital city here, leading to one less country. Going from that, the pretty splintered alliance over here, the square team is going to be getting another member in the gold team here. So they aren't that powerful, but then again, they definitely will be able to do some stuff. They're definitely more capable than the little blue team over there. But they joined the alliance, and that is that. But now we have 3 unions. So I know, not the Asia division, but some of these kind of make sense, and then some of these don't. But starting off, we have over here in the Americas, we have this little light blue team and this hot pink team uniting into one country under the big union country we have here now. Or the big union alliance we have here. And this also reduces a member. But now this member is actually pretty strong now, so you know, it's kind of worth it. So there we go, now we have a stronger blue team here. I know there's a lot of blues and purples on the side of the map, so I'm kind of trying to change that. I know I just added another blue, but maybe soon we'll do something over here to change that. But for now, we're going to be moving on to the Chinese area for the next two, as China unites with this blue one right here. You know, yeah, nothing really about that. a lot of Chinese citizens are mad because these guys, I don't know if it's shown, yeah, on the religion, but these guys aren't ethnically here. These guys are actually ethnically. I know this map sucks. I wish I made it better, but these guys are actually ethnically purple team, which is red team in a way. Yeah, all the people around here, they kind of retreated back to their own countries that are around here. So the border is pretty much like this. But there are pretty good minorities in the south of Korea, in the north of China. But this also like extends out to other countries too. But yeah, it looks terrible right now. I did update it a little bit ago, but there's still so much that needs to be done. But yeah, those will unite, and then surprisingly, these two countries right here will unite into one. Now, I think that looks better. So they will be uniting, and they will completely move their capital out to right here, which is still in the first country, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still in the first country. But now it's in a better spot to cover the whole country as a whole. So there you go. That's a little tiny bit of unity we have. Next, we come over to these guys right here, where we talk about just them as a whole. Because there is a little group of people over on this side of their country that are causing some problems. And you may have seen this color before. But this used to be their old pub estate that at one point was probably, I think, about this big. Not the whole country. Yeah, they're just so similar in color that the tolerance doesn't work. But yeah, they were probably about this big. No, probably a little bit smaller, and the borders were different, definitely. But yeah, it was definitely a big country here, anyway. Or pseudo country, or whatever you want to call it. But they will now actually be going to war. It looks a lot more like this from here instead of like this, which is a lot more realistic. But they're going to go ahead and get fighting, and the Continental Pact is a lot more annoyed with these things now, and they're actually sending a lot of help. You're supposed to send about a lot of your military, let's just say. I don't know exactly like an amount I could give you, but yeah, they're sending a lot of military here, in through all these other sides, until it's eventually actually back down to the border of the Gold Team, basically. Which is really weird, and then some people think it has something to do with the Square Alliance, which is not proven or disproven. But eventually, the top will be eradicated. But it does fight back, I mean. And they didn't really do a good job of holding off a little piece right here, so it's back now. So, yeah, I kind of just lose hold of this area right here again, altogether. But they'll keep pushing in into these areas. Slowly but surely. They will, of course, take it out without suffering some major defeats. I mean, this little major city right here and this one are fought over a lot, including this one up here. They're constantly back and forth. But eventually, they will get back down to the city again. And then they hold off all-out military offensive here, moving troops in toward the city here, where the government was now operating. And then after that, they can pretty much move around. And then the pockets will start falling over until the whole city is just captured. And the war actually ends with this guy winning. So yeah, they win. But there is a lot more of kind of not like revoltness or whatever. I don't know what the word is, but unrest. There's a lot of unrest in the country right now, which they are trying to solve. I talked about China earlier in the episode, but yeah, it's happening. China is having a civil war. It looks something about like this, with 3 main groups and the territory they have attacked and taken so far. But down south here, it's not looking very good, as they're starting to incorporate more areas that they have recently gotten into their territory, as well as like over here, which seems to be a very big key point of winning your civil war. So everybody is pretty much doing it at this point. But the brown team up here is also going to, they've also connected up their areas, and they're going toward Taiwan, which is a very big body of water for the Chinese. But eventually, their military is going to get here, and it's not going to look pretty. First, they're going to start moving down south, down toward these guys, which they will move in a little bit, but they have other fish to fry, so they won't go too far in, just into that northern panhandle up there. And over here in the orange team, they're going to push them back a lot, almost all the way. And then up here, one of the biggest military groups so far. We see about all this land being taken back, but we're going to see more groups. And the next group we see is one that's over here in the southern region down here of China, and the common theme is that these guys don't really get enough support. They're kind of far away from the Chinese government, so they're not really getting as much help as they would like to have. But yeah, they're going to do all this. But China's military is no joke, and with the help of the Continental Pact, which they are of course in, they are going to start getting help, and eventually the troops from these guys over here are going to cross, and they're going to be attacking these guys. And I'm pretty sure that the green team is also, yeah, they're also in it too. So eventually, over here, these guys are going to start getting liberated, slowly but surely, into their own land, I guess. I don't know, I guess these borders are kind of weird. This has to be invaded territory. Okay, there we go. Boom. So, yeah, it's not looking good for these. But, something big will happen. The purple team will annex all this area and the green team into their territory, as well as all of that there. So, yeah, these guys are very big. And they now operate as kind of their own country, with this country right here, even backing them, which they're pretty much the pro-government of them. That's all they are. So, that is kind of a big military ruse that has been devised. But yeah, eventually the orange team is going to start fighting back over here, though, in the north. So the south is like taken over here. But the brown team is actually the strongest one by far. This is the biggest actual group. This group right here, the orange team, is an actual group as well. But yeah. So these guys are going to expand, and they're gonna go very fast. They're going to make all the areas around right here become part of their core territory, and they're going to keep pushing in until eventually the Chinese government really only has to worry about these guys now. So they're going to go up here, take the city back, start slowly taking more land back with help from their other Continental Pact members. But down south, they're going to continue their attack on this country right here, forcing them down south into the southern major city here. So these guys, it's not looking too good for these guys, or the orange team, as they are completely pushed back to their border, and even being invaded into, reaching their major city. And eventually, they're going to sign deals with these guys and these guys, so they can just focus on the brown team. Here we are. So these guys get this territory here, and yeah, so they're let go. Up here, these guys get all that territory, and all this is given back. So we reach borders like these, and I don't like this. Okay, we're going to try to fix these borders. Yeah, I don't know if I can fix that. Maybe like that. Anyway, now that that's fixed, these guys don't really. The orange team doesn't have a major city, So we're just going to be promoting their biggest town into one. Because most of these countries, that's what it is. Promoting their biggest town into one. But we'll give them 2. And then these guys, another 1. So, you know, that's maybe a little bit more fair. And then they will, of course, get their capitals. So, here and here. But yeah, now that those 2 countries exist, China has to go back after these guys over here. And from here on out, it's not going to be pretty for the Chinese, actually. Because this group only gets bigger. And eventually, it's going to get really bad. Like, when I mean bad, I mean bad. Like, it's going to get down to the core Chinese area. Because that's for, like, I guess, business core Chinese. Or more core than outside. But, they will move into these areas. They start retaking some major cities back. But, there's really nothing they can do. They can capture Taiwan, sure. But, this group is big. And eventually, their territory will show it as, all this area is grouped into this big country. And eventually, Korea will have to step in and say, look, the Continental Pact is going to get involved with this unless you sign a peace deal. So they're like, okay. And, yeah, we will see a new China. These guys are going to get a lot of territory, actually. Which, probably isn't right. You know, some of these should probably go back over. And in fact, I think we're actually going to change this up a little bit. These guys are going to get control of the Philippines. So, you know, I actually like this worse. I can mess with that. So, we gotta get this new grand country, their capital city. Which will be right here in this city. Which is like one of their main bases, I think. But now that's over, China is pretty much out of the power rankings. Yeah, they're 12th. I would say they're probably more like, they're over 15th, at least by now. Or, I don't know, because some of these European, or I guess not European, the Indian countries are smaller, but weak, or stronger. So I don't know, they're gonna be lower though, definitely. But, now that's over, we have the final event of today's video. One of the biggest revolutions happening in, the Mediterranean country here. And if you can't see, yeah, it's bad. This is a country. All these 3 used to be original countries, and they're back now, and they're ready for their independence. And if you enjoyed today's video, please share your support, but that's all for now, so bye.